Hello everyone, it's Tana. Welcome back to my channel. And welcome to what was supposed to be a St. Patrick's Day video. But I had a lot going on, so I didn't get a chance to get it out in time. But I still decided to post it because it could be a good luck card, a lucky card, or a card for anybody that likes leprechauns. So here I'm showing you some items I picked up from Simon Says Stamp recently. And excuse the heater in the background and the furnace. Yes, two separate things because it is freezing here. It is like 19 degrees. It's March 27th and we got snow this weekend. I mean, come on. Enough's enough, right? Am I right? I've also brought in some older products, as you saw there. The rainbow stamp set by Simon Says Stamp, a frog from Your Next Stamp, and the good luck word die from Simon Says Stamp. So I'm going to stamp out this Known Lucky stamp. And I'm using Heavy Doodle alcohol marker friendly cardstock. I love this stuff. It's my favorite stuff to color on when I'm using my Copics. And I'm going to use the greens I listed. Sorry, I blanked there for a second. On the leprechaun himself. And he kind of replaces the U in Lucky. And I'm also going to color his beard red. And then I will turn the letters into the Irish flag. So it's actually quite fun and simple coloring, I might add. It went by really quickly and still I don't show all of it. So I had to actually look up, even though I knew the colors of the flag for Ireland, I did not know which order they went in. And I did them top to bottom instead of left to right. It just looked better that way on the letters, if that makes any sense. So I thought I put up the colors of the markers, but guys, am I spacing out that much or what? Because I seem to be missing them if they are popping up on the screen. I'm pretty sure if you're watching this on a computer, though, you can see the colors. I can't on my little tiny phone screen right now, but you guys should be able to. Anyway, I was trying a new form of coloring hair using different colors as highlights. I can't say that with this tiny area of coloring that I saw any major difference when it came to highlighting the hair, but I might try it again on something that is larger. So now we're going to start the flag, and I penciled off roughly equal areas so that I wasn't coloring too much green or too much orange or leaving too much white in the middle. And I did the green at the top, and I do 3 shades for each color, and I actually go over them twice. So after I went across a few letters, I would go back and go over them again, which isn't something I normally do, but I felt like it needed it to deepen the color just a little bit and saturate the paper just a little bit better. After we color these letters, we are going to go over that little tiny outline around each letter with the Pear Blossom Press gold gel pen and also the buckle on his hat. And I think it turned out really good. And I wasn't worried too much about coloring out of the lines because this card went in a totally different direction than what I intended it to be. And I end up cutting that entire thing out. If you have the die, more power to you, because I layered 3 pieces of cardstock, 2 or 3 behind it, and the die would have definitely came in handy at that point. But moving on, here I am going over the edge, the outline, with a gold gel pen. And you can't see it very well on the screen, but it gives it just enough shine. So now after it's all colored on, I used the gold gel pen. It kind of went over some of the black lines. So I'm going to restamp it, but I'm going to line up the stamp and make sure it's in the right position by using a piece of acetate over the image. That way I don't misstamp by accident and ruin all my very careful coloring. So it didn't, I think I only had to move the stamp once and it was in the perfect spot. So that's it for that. All the lines are nice and defined again, and this is going to be a Slimline card. And I'm going to use these dies from My Favorite Things. I have quite a few rainbow dies I haven't gotten a chance to use. The cloud actually goes with some straight rainbow strips from another MFT die set. And I cannot remember if that sun is from MFT or Simon Says Stamp, but if I can find it, I will link it below for you guys. Now I cut each one out, but I left them in their pieces of cardstock so I could ink blend. And I put the colors up on the screen for you guys. If I did not, I will add them before I publish this. Moving on. This sun is not actually the sun that goes on the card. I screwed it all up, which you will see in a little bit. And I had to make another one off screen. But I digress. The clouds turned out really cute. I think I went around just the edges with the cummerbund ink. And I did cut out several faces for the clouds, and I layered those 3 high. The eyes, the little tiny eyes, and the mouth for each one. And the cheeks, don't forget the cheeks. So now I'm finally going to try my new Ulta New detail blending brushes, because the rabbit hole ones that I love so much are just a little bit too wide for this rainbow, even with using a piece of cardstock to keep the edges straight. Way up at the top of that rainbow, it's just too narrow. So I'm going to go in with 2 colors of each one, cover the entire strip with the lighter color first, and then go in with the darker color and color half the strip, and then I'm going to blend the 2 together. So I went back and forth, opposite sides, red, then purple, then orange, then blue. That way it gave the ink a little bit of time to dry before I went back to that spot again. And before I did this, I embossed this piece of Bristol Smooth with the die, so I knew exactly where the lines would be before I cut it out, because it is actually, this die is actually going to cut those into separate strips. But you could, I mean, if you were really careful with your ink blending, you could actually just emboss that on your card panel and not cut it out. But every element of this card is a different length or width, depth, it's depth, guys, of height to kind of stage it. So here I am gluing the faces on the clouds. Colored those in with my Copics really quick. R22 and 20 for the cheeks, and BG13 for the eyes and the mouth. Actually, I used a very light BV gray blue-violet marker for the mouth. Now I'm doing 2 layers of strips, 120-pound cardstock, behind the ink blended rainbow strips, and 1 layer behind the clouds. And I was attempting 1 layer behind the sun. And this is where I screwed it all up, because I did not realize that the rays of the sun were different widths apart. So then I tried to color them in with a Copic marker, and that did not work. Then I tried to take it apart, and it ripped the rays off of the sun. So I just went in and ink blended a whole new one. Now I'm going to layer up my Lucky image, 2 layers of 120-pound cardstock, and then the layer of Heavy Doodle alcohol marker friendly cardstock. And I'm just going to give a quick ink blend to my sky with Fiesta Blue by Catherine Pooler. And I have cut some grass off screen with my MFT, I think it's Grassy Hill dies, and ink blended those with Lime Ricky and Grass Skirt. Layered those onto the bottom part of the front card panel, and then trimmed off the excess when it was dry. And now I'm going to start gluing the colors onto the rainbow strips. And I made sure to label those, every single one as I cut them, what color went where. So red had R's on them, orange had O's on them. That way there was no confusion, because they are each one is slightly different depending on where it falls in the rainbow. So first we're going to glue the sun on here up at the top. And I took the Clover Bunny stamp set from the Rabbit Hole Designs, stamped out a whole bunch of the clovers, the small one, which is a separate image, and then the big one that he was holding in his hand. Figured we needed some clovers in there. And I glued all my strips onto a piece of copy paper before I placed this entire piece onto the card front. Now only part of this cloud needs to be popped up. The rest of that cloud slides on top of the rainbow. And then I used the extra clouds. I don't know what I was thinking when I made so many clouds. To just put 2 tiny pieces on either side of the card panel, and I'll trim all that extra off when they're dry. And now we're going to glue Lucky, which also same thing. Just needs foam tape at the bottom part, and the top part of the image glues right on top of the rainbow. And now we're going to place this whole panel on a black slimline card base that measures 4 by 8.5. And I'm going to glue some green sequins, confetti sequins, onto the card there. And that's it for the card, guys. I hope you liked today's video. I hope you don't mind seeing some St. Patrick's Day stuff and a little bit of green. Don't forget to hit the like button and head on over to Instagram to see pictures that I post whenever I make cards that I don't record. And we'll see you next time, guys. Bye-bye for now.